Klaviyo just released an update where it integrates directly with Claude AI, and this is changing the entire email marketing game, so you absolutely have to pay attention. Now, if you're an agency, this is going to show you exactly how you can minimize the amount of people that you need on your team and how you can build even better strategies around your client accounts. And if you're a business and you're an e-commerce brand that is running email marketing to get sales, this is going to completely change so much for you, and you're going to be able to run so much internally and have way better insight than you ever did before. So trust me, this is going to be a hugely insightful video. Now, I recommend you watch until the end because these AI changes are just getting started, and I'm sure this is the start of so many different changes coming to email marketing specifically. So let me jump into it. All right, so first things first is you want to open up Klaviyo. And when you open up Klaviyo, you're going to navigate on the left bar and you're going to go click on integrations. Super simple. You're going to go here, you're going to go to explore apps. And what's going to happen is it's going to open up this. What you want to do is you just want to type in Claude. It's going to bring this up. You're going to click on it. Then there's going to be an install button over here. Just click on that and it's going to bring this option up. And all you're going to do is you're going to connect. Now, I've already done this, so let me just disconnect and I'm going to redo it. Cool. So it's going to bring this up. You're just going to click on approve. Right, next up, it's going to bring up a list of other accounts that you have access to. You just want to make sure that you click on the correct account that you want to install it to. You're going to scroll down and you're going to click on allow. Cool, so now you'll see that it says connected to Klaviyo, and that is it. All right, and let me show you the use cases first. So when we go over here, you can see the different ways that you can use it. And this is essentially a great replacement so that you don't need an entire team, especially if you're a company just trying to keep everything internally, but you want better processes. This is going to do all of that for you. And so when you take a look here, there are a few use cases. Number 1, reporting. Number 2, flow analysis. Number 3, campaign ideation, segments, split tests, deliverability audits, and cross-account analysis. And so when we take a look at how all of that works together, you can see that number 1, you can pretty much ask Claude to audit all of your flows and identify underperformance. This is great so that you don't have to spend all your time auditing things. You can compare it to industry benchmarks. You can, kind of visualize what they'll look like. And so here's an example of how I used it. I pretty much went in and I said, hey, analyze my Klaviyo and help me identify gaps in my flows that could help with improved revenue. And essentially what it does is it pulled up all of the different flows, and then it told me, okay, cool. So here are the flows that you have live right now. You have all of these, but the ones that you don't have live that are going to bring in a ton of revenue based on what we saw in your segmentation is the second purchase, VIP program, cross-sell program, pre-sunset. And then there's some medium priority that we could include. And then it tells me a bit of an issue. So there's an attribution issue, which is not true. It's just not pulling that in correctly. So sometimes, it's going to be something. But something interesting is it shows me that the welcome flow has a huge drop in analysis and in results. And so here's giving a better explanation. It tells you exactly how to set it up. You can even go ahead and give it an outline so they can do briefs. And then if we take a look, you can see that it kind of analyzes everything for you. So even going here, you can see that it bases it on a few different things and how it has identified this. And specifically, at some point it mentions that it took a look at all of the segments that I created. So this is just one of the use cases, and you can see that it even shows you visuals, which I personally really, really like. And then you can go in and say, okay, I want these, build it out for me, blah, blah, blah. So that's a great use case. Then another use case that is already a challenge for a lot of agencies. They get paid a ton of money, but they don't know what they're doing. And an issue for most teams is that they're not running enough split tests. And so you can come in and you can say, hey, based on my campaign performances, tell me what split tests I need to run. Tell me how I can run some split tests, what I need to try. And it's not going to give you the 101 of, change your subject line. It's going to say, hey, well, your welcome flow is underperforming. I think that you should prioritize split testing different things here. Make sure that your deliverability is on point, et cetera, et cetera. Then my favorite use case of this is campaign ideation. As agencies and as most companies, sometimes ideation comes out of thin air, right? It's ideas that you think sound good, but there's no proof on whether it will actually perform. And so what this integration can do now is it's going to tell you, hey, pretty much you can say, hey, this is, I want you to find killer patterns in winners and generate new campaign ideas based on the best performing non-discount campaigns that we've sent historically. Who did we send those to? Who should we integrate? How should we approach that strategy? It's then going to do all of the work for you, where in the past 12 months, it's going to go find all of the winners for you, and it's going to go and generate new ideas. So you have a proven calendar instead of just thumb sucking and deciding on what you think is best. Likewise, when a sale period comes up, so for example, like a Black Friday period, instead of having to go and analyze weeks and weeks and weeks of campaigns and sales, instead you could say, hey, go analyze all historic sales that we've done, which ones have done best, and cross-reference it with our profit margins. So you now have essentially this AI analyzing tool without needing to get external tools like Triple Whale or Hero. So next one, I really like segment discovery. This one is really cool. So the way that I would use this is I would say, hey, help me find some segments that I could squeeze more revenue out of that are underutilized. And it will basically go ahead and it will ideate on all of those segments. So it's going to see, okay, you know, you're not, these are the segments that you've currently been sending to. These are the segments you're not really utilizing. And so you're just going to give it an allowance to go ahead and pull that data. And now it's going to go and build everything. And then what you could do is you could even take it a step further. You could say, build me a comprehensive report on, number one, how many new customers converted in the last 90 days. Number two, how many people returned in the last 90 days. Number three, how many people actually used a code or bought a product in the last 90 days. It will go and build a visual dashboard that you can then go and send over either to your clients if you're an agency, or you can share internally to your board or your COO or CFO, for example, so that you're making way more accurate financial decisions. Likewise, you want to be able to use that information so that you can fund your ads, for example, which is what email should do. It should be profitable so that you can reinvest that. So while that pulls up, I'm going to go through the rest. So subject line generation. This is great because now it's going to take proven subject lines that got the most opens, got the most engagement in history, and it's going to generate those subject lines for you. Then two of my favorites, which I think is going to change the game because so many people don't know how to do this properly, is an account health audit. And this means as well as taking into account deliverability. So for example, a complete audit in 30 seconds on how your account is actually performing. What metrics do you need to improve? How can you do that? Deliverability, what is the issue there? And it's going to go ahead and analyze absolutely everything. Do you have a branded sending domain? If you don't, it's probably going to explain that to you. And then a cross account comparison. So this is my favorite. If you are an agency or you have multiple accounts, you can now cross reference across multiple accounts and see, okay, based on all of my accounts, what is the benchmark? What needs to be consistently improved? Based on all of the split test winners, what needs to be applied to this specific account? And honestly, if you're a company watching this, that is the power of having an agency. We have so much data, so much more than just our in-house brands, right? Because Claude, unfortunately, is not educated enough. It's going to take whatever data it sees from your account. But if your account, you haven't done enough testing, you haven't tried enough, it's only going to suggest things. But if you have proven data across hundreds of different brands like we have, because we are one of the best email agencies in the world, when you have tons of access to so many accounts over the past 7 years, by the way, then we can pull history of data. We can see how the markets have adapted. We can see what has worked historically and doesn't work anymore. And we can see the winning split tests across hundreds and hundreds of accounts. That power can then be taken into your individual account, and you have winners straight off the bat. Now, the issue is agencies have technically always had that power, right, to make educated decisions because and that's the benefit of an agency. They see so many other accounts. They can look at things through a different lens than you can internally, especially when you're in the thick of it. But now they have an added advantage where it's done so much more accurately, because before you had to kind of, not to sound bad about it, but you had to have a reliable team member that was willing to go in and take the initiative to do that. It's pretty rare to find a player that is willing to do that. Now, we have a team of A players, but now the A players are able to make such higher level decisions that will benefit the brands a lot more. So this is the power of the new AI tool. And additionally, just as a bonus, if you open up the Klaviyo account that you're in, you can actually go to Marketing Agent. And this is a great new tool that they've just introduced. It's probably only going to get better. And essentially, you can build so many different things. You can pretty much set things up automatically. Now, the campaign builds are, to be honest, low quality, and they're not educated enough. So this is something that will continuously improve. but you can get recommendations. You can speak to it. You can kind of use this as your assistant that understands your brand intimately. And when we go take a look, so always reference back to Claude and make sure that you're giving allowance, but it's going to generate all this information and you can see that it's starting to analyze some trends. So yeah, it's honestly just an incredible use case, and I'm glad they've brought in this integration. You can think about other ways to do this, but the way that I would do it is with all of these, as well as creating visual dashboards so that you can then go and digest the information and make better choices based on that information. So with that being said, that's the newest update with Claude and Klaviyo. Comment down below if you have any use cases that you would want to see, or if there's any other updates around Klaviyo that you want to see as well. We're always staying up to date with it. You know, we're the first ones to test everything. We get all their beta testing because we are a partner of theirs. So with that being said, that is everything, and I will see you in the next video.